Hey folks, Quilly here, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play for RimWorld Alpha 8. And by brand new, I mean we're going to shake things up quite a bit, because this time around, I am going to be packing some mods. This is actually the mod compilation called the Epic Pack. I'll include a description, a link down in the description down below. But here's the link of all the list of all the mods installed. I have not actually played around with these yet, so we're going to see exactly what they do. I have to say that one of the ones I might be the most excited about is the less incident trolling, which actually slightly decreases the chance of getting solar flares or whatever. But everything in here shouldn't make the game any easier. It should just make the game a little bit more varied. So we're going to go ahead and create a new world. We're going to, I don't know, randomize a seed. There we go. BXMW. That is going to be the seed for our world. We'll click generate. And yeah, that looks fine. We're going to hit save and finish. I don't actually know what the world name was, but we're going to go ahead and set up a new colony. We'll stick with Cassandra Classic, even though part of me really wants to move to Phoebe Base Builder, which gives us more time between events. But what the hell, we'll do that. We'll stick on challenge because why not? Unless I should put it down to rough. That might be the big thing, actually. That's a very, very good thing, but we'll go ahead and leave it on challenge. Hey, at least the games end that way, and it's fine. And our new world has this absolutely horrible name. You can see my test from earlier this morning. Asmodiscal Meridiana. That is the worst name for a world I have ever seen, but that is where we're going to start. And what I'd like to propose this time, instead of starting in the frosty, frosty north, what if we start in the hot, hot jungle, or desert, rather. There's jungle as well, isn't there? It's a dark greenish, yeah, tropical rainforest is an idea. Could start in the desert. The big problem with the desert, of course, is there will be a lot less wood, therefore forcing us to rely on metals right from the start. I could start in flatland completely, or I can start in sort of large hilly area. The large hilly area will probably have more mountains for us to dig into, and I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and start. Oh, it's interesting that it doesn't have a year-round growing period. This one does. It's much hotter here, and that's what I want. I want, like, kind of extreme temperatures. There we go. Mountains, year-round. That's what we're going to deal with. Average temperature in January is still 12 degrees Celsius. Average in July is 32, which means we're going to have a lot of hot, 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 hot days. So our problem this time around is not going to be getting parkas. It's going to be the fact that every time someone walks outside, they're going to keel over and die. We will need a lot of air conditioning indoors, but other than that, we're going to be in an interesting situation. One of the mods I do have is the Prepare Carefully mod, which allows you to specify what traits people might have. Very sort of reminiscent of Dwarf Fortress, for example. Of course, I can just go and you know, keep randomized people just like before if we want. The Prepare Carefully mod does allow you to use a point-based system to buy your people. Why is there an exclamation mark here? I don't know what that means. I have no idea. You can toggle the points on and off if you want, so you can make it so that you don't use any points and you have like unlimited all the things if that's what you're interested in. We could also pop in new colonists if we want. Obviously, new colonists are quite expensive to add in. So one thing we may want to do, for example, and while we can randomize people a few more times, especially with their traits, is what if we got something like cool skinned? If we're going to be in such a hot area, it might be a really good idea to have all our people start off with the cool skinned ability. Like that. Too smart? What the hell is too smart? Actually don't know. It doesn't tell me. I've got no tooltip in this particular mode. We'll go ahead and drop cool skin in everyone, so everyone deals with the weather a little bit more. I thought I could pick what I started with as well. We can change their look, which is also kind of cool. He's kind of interesting. Sheltered child, civil servant. Can't seem to construct anything. That's probably one of the things. So Bennett couldn't grow or do art. The art's not a problem. Growing is nice to have, but you are a super constructor and a half-decent miner. That's probably not bad. Julie can do everything and is half-decent everything. And Azura is really good at research, can't construct. Can social. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a high-level doctor, but everything else that this person does is pretty darn crap. I'm not sure we're going to keep Azura around. We might want to shuffle that around a little bit. We can turn on, like, the passion status for different stats, which is very interesting. We might just want to go and put up mining. Actually, Azure's not incapable of anything. Just doesn't have a skill in a lot of different fields. I think a good level of research is actually going to be really good because we have a lot more tech to research with the current mods. So maybe this will be fine. I'm tempted to go and just add a bunch of skills in a few different areas that might be really, really, really useful. In particular, it might be a good idea Oh, what if we put both these people as like super passionate miners so that they skill up in mining faster, and we'll have them work. We are going to be in the mountains, so we're going to want some fast miners, and that's going to be okay. You can haul, so listen, even if you're not researching, at least you can haul things, and that'll be okay. Maybe we'll make your hauling top priority and the research second priority, something like that. So if there's anything to haul or even clean, you'll do that. Otherwise, you'll do some research, and that might be totally fine. We don't have anyone who's particularly good at shooting. We might want to go and pump that up. Maybe Frederick Bennett here should be a little bit better at shooting. Something like that. We'll leave a few points and we'll hit next. Oh, and there's where we start our loot. Okay. So I think over on the right, yeah, this is what we're currently starting with. 900 silver, 300 steel, some wood, medicine, some survival meals that are packaged, the Glock, the plasteel knife. Honestly, never been a fan of starting with a plasteel knife. And if we can skip the Glock as well, that would be nice. Wow, the Glock is worth nothing. If we could get... There's a lot more weapons, but if we could get more Lee Enfield, they're pretty good at popping things from a distance, hunting, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, I guess I could have just gone up that way and almost pull it off. Do we want to cut back on something? I'm going to cut back on the starting silver, which I guess silver is worth 1-to-1, so that's totally fine. But we're going to start with 3 rifles instead and hope that this works out. All right, let's hit next and see what we can do. We're going to need a name for this colony. You guys in the comments, let me know what this first colony should be called once we get things going. I got a debug log. Tried to spawn something out of bounds, replacing yada yada yada. Something tried to place itself and failed. Now, I suspect in the long run, let me go ahead and pause. I suspect in the long run, there's a lot of mods I will probably disable, because I don't tend to like a lot of mods that disable the gameplay, but I like this new interface thing at the top. The other one I really like is, I think, called Auto Haul or something like that. Basically, here's going to be a great example. Let's say, wow, this is a great set of choke points. Let's say this entire area over here, this is going to be our home. We've got lots of mountains to climb. We can just wall off over here, and we are done. So right from the start, even though it's a little nutty, I'm going to go ahead and say that this whole area is going to be my home region. Here, everything in here. And what's going to be notable as soon as I unpause is it should automatically mark my goods as no longer forbidden, so they actually get hauled. So right from the start, I'm going to do that. Let me unpause a second. And you can see right away, all the goods within the home zone automatically get set to unforbidden, so that they'll be dragged to stockpiles, which makes sense. You want stuff outside your home to be marked as forbidden so that people don't kill themselves picking it up, usually. But early in the game, I'm going to go ahead and unforbid that stuff and this stuff as well. I believe it'll also automatically strip any dead bodies, which is stunningly good. Now, the biggest problem with setting up, say, an early farm here is, I think... Yeah, we can't grow on there. It doesn't actually show me like a dead circle or anything like that. But there might be limited growing zones. On the other hand, we should be able to grow all year round. So let's make a giant potato farm. This might actually be too big. You know what? Since we can grow year round, well, we'll get variety. We'll go zone 1. And will this actually create a new zone? I'm worried it's just going to join them together. Yeah. I don't know how to not connect them. I guess we could leave it space or something. Screw it, you guys are going to be growing a lot of potatoes. Potatoes by default, that's going to be fine. And then we'll soon start a medical thing as well. Let's check the overview list. We're going to turn on manual priorities. The clerk, you can definitely get top priority there. Is it just me or there's like extra little UI things on the bit next to these roles? The warden role, tell you what, you can top priority that and you'd never warden at all. Everything else I'm pretty happy with. If I do set any mining, it should be relatively high. Construction as well. I'm trying to remember what I thought was everyone's role going to be. I think Azura was good at research. You're going to be mostly hauling and cleaning, and then when you don't have any of that going on, do some research. That way we'll actually keep a clean colony around for a change, which is going to be nice. Bennett's pretty decent at hunting, actually. By far the best. If there's any hunting to do that first. That's going to be fine. Other than that, the fact that these priorities are all sort of even is fine to me. We can give them a little bit of potential cleaning. These guys never need to research because they're not quite as good at it. A little bit of repair jobs over here. Not that it'll ever come up, because I should always have some research queued up. But something like that'll be okay. I'm not worried about crafting art right now. Although I suppose, just on the off chance that I put something down that's supposed to be crafted, which probably won't happen too often. Maybe, not cooking. Butchering, I think, is a crafting job. Also hauling bodies to the crematorium, which seems like a pretty important thing. Cooking wouldn't be bad either, so maybe we'll have Julie over here take over that if there's any cooking to do. And I think that's going to be a fine start. So, are we still paused? We are still paused. So, we know a little bit about our layout. We don't have, as far as I can tell, other than the trees that we've brought with us. Oh, there are some trees to cut down. Oh, the cacti can be chopped down. Well, that's very handy. Also, notice that this debris, these chunks have automatically been marked as hauling, which is good. You can see we got a whole lot of new technology to worry about now. A lot of it, I don't know how it works yet. Ooh, nuclear power. That's pretty interesting. Energy packs. Mobile device. Oh. Interesting. Fire suppression might be handy. Cables, carpets, integrated circuits. The automatic power switch is really interesting. I'm thinking we might be able to use this to have turrets that turn on and off automatically when enemies are nearby, which would certainly be a tedium saver, something I like a lot. Weapon base. Yeah, so there's a new set of turrets that you can actually install weapons into, and they will use that. It's kind of interesting. We can have pneumatic picks to mine faster, which is going to be really, really valuable. I thought there was something else that might be a high priority thing. Now, being able to use stone might be a good idea. Climatization. Industrial fans. Ammo crafting, cremation, craftsman technologies, machining, miniguns, advanced gun turrets. See, all that sounds really, really good. I have to admit, though, I feel like since we don't have much in the way of wood, I actually think stone cutting is going to be one of the top priorities, which sounds weird. Maybe pneumatic picks first, but stone cutting is going to be a very, very, very soon priority for us. So, we do want to wall things off at some point. We don't necessarily need to rush it. You can see there's more different types of constructions here. I don't want to necessarily use all our wood. Do we use our steel? It's an excellent question. What's in the walls over here? Silver ore in the walls. That's pretty good. We've got some compacted steel right away. So I'm going to go ahead and flag some mining ASAP. And I'm going to assume we're going to have enough steel to get things going. There's some more. I think this is steel over here near the geyser, and it is. So we actually should have access to a fair deal of steel. And yeah, I like the fact that there's the silver over there. So I'm going to use the steel to make walls. They're going to be tougher. Do we need conduit walls? I don't think so. I think this kind of construction is fine. We'll put in an auto door as well. And that's one of our earliest things we're going to do is pin ourselves in. We've got our basic farm. We've got that. Oh, I can put a stockpile. Tell you what, I'm going to start with the orbital trade beacon like this. And so it reaches all the way short of the grass. Then I can make a giant stockpile like that, which should be good. And it should all be encased by the beacon. I misaimed something, which is possible. There might be a bit here or there, but that's okay. I think at this point we can unpause. I also like there's little symbols on my people to show them whether they're idle, which is the check mark. Also, we can set up groups. We'll do that later. The little checkbox says they have no job, and then the weapon icon means they're missing a weapon. So we'll go ahead and get everyone to equip their primary gun, especially since some of them are hunters. Not that we've assigned anything to be hunted yet. What are these? Iguanas. Oh, and that, we can just click hunt there. That is super useful. May as well get started on that. We got some more resources that can be hauled from there at some point. It's probably a good idea to designate everything to be unforbidden as early as possible and hope that it gets hauled into our base before we actually get attacked in any way whatsoever. Oh, we got a bunch of survival meals over here. Those are really handy early on in the game. Also, we're still on Alpha 8, and I'm really, really looking forward to the next expansion, or next alpha, I guess, which may or may not be save compatible, I don't know, but they optimize a lot of the hauling and different things like that, and it's just going to be like a huge quality of life improvement. We're going to need some power soon. I don't know how windy it is. A lot of people have made the case that wind turbines are pretty good, not that you start with them. Clearly, we're going to have to start with solar panels, so we should probably hold them a little further back just to make sure they're not near our kill zones. That's been a bit of a problem in the past. Although at the same time, I don't want to take up any grass for them. So I'm going to do something like that to start off with. 3 solar panels, get some power conduits between them. We are going to make sure to have to hook up the auto door, wherever that is. So we'll queue up a job over that way. It'll just save a lot of time if we have an auto door in place. And we'll need to build a defense over there. Bennett, I think, is currently hunting. Yeah, hunting the iguanas. Meat's back on the menu, boys. We got some sort of beetle over here. Mega scarab. Interesting. And yeah, chopping the trees within our base, all that is fine. Picking up all the meals, all that is really good. We'll finish that power conduit over here. We will want some guns relatively soon. I probably didn't need to rush out the building here, but yeah, it's going to be fine. And hopefully we'll get that done. Mining jobs are good. We are going to need some homes really, really fast. So, unlike last time, I'm not going to focus on making giant bedrooms this time. I'm just going to make sort of like 3 of 3 bedrooms. I guess we're going to use a lot of steel wall. And I'm going to go ahead and use the conduit walls for this. They are actually overkill. You use slightly more resources for this than you have to. But, you know, that's going to be fine here. So let me go and make the wall. We can make them back to back. 1, 2, 3. So that's one room. Another room. The room. I'm going to preemptively plot out 6 bedrooms, basically. Over like that. We'll use auto doors for convenience. So this time, I am going like a lot more fancy right from the start, and we'll see exactly how that works out. I'm not sure if the furniture makes a difference. We could probably make wooden beds. I don't know if we need to save the wood for anything. It's actually part of it. I'm like paranoid about using a bunch of wood, but honestly, I should, probably still be using wood as opposed to all the steel, because steel is still a little bit valuable and hard to come by. Except, I will say, we do have access to mines this time around. So apparently we need a shell and concrete. I don't know how to make the concrete yet. Mixing machine? I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. We might want a hopper, or we could start doing the cooking right away. I'll probably make another big building. Let me actually get started on that. Structure. Yeah, we'll use steel. It is convenient that nothing will burn down if we use steel everywhere. I'll make a larger building here for dining, research, a little bit of production. Steel auto doors there, and something like that. And obviously we're going to need to drag some power down there. There's the power switches. So I think with the power switch, as I can turn power on an entire circuit on and off using that. And then the automatic ones, I'm assuming you can set based on conditions or something of that nature. So there we go. Lots of construction job queues up. Everyone's pretty busy. We need beds, need batteries. Oh yeah, for nighttime. That is pretty important. Obviously they need to be indoors. Tell you what, I will get a couple of batteries right there in that building. Still kind of like the idea of stuffing the batteries inside the bedrooms, although these are a little bit small, so it might actually be a problem. But with the extra beds over here, we can start taking prisoners relatively early, which is nice. These guys are, I think, going out and looting some stuff. What is this? Oh, some steel that's lying around. All very good. And yeah, hopefully it'll get hauled in there. It's probably going to be worth putting down some actual flooring relatively soon for our people as well. The night has come. We're not going to have any power. Not that anything's hooked up anyway, which is fine. And yeah, we've got the steel set up. I'm going to keep a lot of those mining jobs going there. Do I not have a priority 1 miner? Oh, no, I don't. I never got around to that. Should I make it priority 1? In a sense, construction can come first. You over here don't have a lot going on. You've got the hauling and cooking. Tell you what. You're going to be, especially since you seem to have the best construction skill. Yep. Construct and repair, and if you can't do that, mine. Although, again, you've got the hunting job on there, too. Which, honestly, if I'm flagging things to be hunted, getting them hunting ASAP is not bad. Of course, we don't have a butcher table. Yeah, I'm hunting. I don't have a butcher table or a cooking table yet. Which means that the hunting's actually not doing much for us. I'm going to put a dump zone, which is another thing that I forgot. Dumping stockpile. Right over there. I'm going to forbid corpses and not allow anything that's rotten in there. But other than that, or chunks. Wait. Corpses. No. Corpses are fine as long as they're animals. There we go. Non-rotten animal corpses have top priority go there. At least for now. Of course, things are going to rot really fast in the heat. It's only 14 degrees, although right now it's nighttime. And no one's got any beds. Which I should probably do something about. Jura, right, is the one who's mostly just on hauling duty. which is probably okay, actually. One person that's basically full-time constructing, one person full-time mining, one person full-time hauling under normal circumstances. Although Bennett's spending a lot of times on the solar panels, and honestly, we should probably get some beds going. Prioritize the beds and then try to get everything enclosed. I could put down some sleep spots right now. So far, no one's at the point of breaking. Although I bet, oops, if I check their thoughts, they are in fact tired. In fact, Bennett went to bed right away. Julie, go ahead and construct that. And Azura, I think, can construct. Nope, can't construct at all. So Azura is going to keep hauling all day long. I like how they like drop the steel en masse and then prioritize working on the bed. Working on a conduit wall, but I said bed. Didn't I? I think I did. I could just drop a couple of sleep spots just so that they can technically sleep. But they're not critically tired yet. And they've got that new colony optimism. And actually, Julie's an optimist as well. Hell, if I really wanted to min-max my start, I could have given everyone the optimist trait. It would have made life a lot easier. There we have it. Anyway, we'll fast forward a little bit. Yeah, it's daytime again. We've got power, which we don't actually need. Built the solar panels. Maybe a little too soon. But honestly, you tend to need them pretty fast anyway. Bennett, I appreciate your enthusiasm for building walls, but why don't you build beds? And then, yeah, now she can actually just go back to walls and doors and stuff in general. That will be perfectly fine. That way people will have enclosed bedrooms. They'll be happy that they have an actual bedroom. They're not sleeping outside anymore as soon as that happens. Slept outside, you see that? They're going to not like the cramped quarters while they're in there, but it's going to save us a lot of material and a lot of space, so I'm not quite as worried. It'd be nice to have a full-time cleaner as well. We suffered from a lot of debuffs for a long time about the bad, sort of dirty environment, but honestly, it was like there was so much to clean at a certain point that it was like, we're going to cripple our entire workforce if all we do is spend all day cleaning, so that would have been bad. I could probably cut back on the mining, but we're going to need a crap ton of steel, especially if I'm using it as a primary thing. You know what we don't have? I don't think we've got anyone cut. Plant cutting, no. If I assign it, if I want some plants chopped, go ahead and make that a relatively high priority operation, please and thank you. There we go. We're even getting some roofs and everything set up over here. Now, we will need air conditioners, and right now, I don't think we have any vents. Temperature. Now, we do have vents. Excellent. So it allows heat to be shared between rooms while maintaining a colonist privacy. So that means we can have one air conditioner in one room, and then put vents between the rooms, which is probably a lot easier because an air conditioner, a cooler is 100 steel. A vent is 8 steel. Plus, coolers take power. Now, cooling a little room like this wouldn't actually take that much power. But I think overall, with one cooler plus some vents, we're going to be in better shape. So I should probably go and get those installed right away. So do something like that. Wait, am I building a cooler? Hold on. No, that's a vent. Yes. What's the hot and cool? Oh, I have to turn it. There we go. And then the cooler will go like this. So this will be the room that actually has the air conditioner. And then it should flow out of there to the other rooms. And we are going to want that relatively soon. It's already 24 degrees outside. And if I recall correctly, 24 is enough to start making people feel hot. And at least give them the slept in the heat debuff, which they're very, very unhappy with. Other than that, I'm not sure what's going to be involved in keeping people cool. Luckily, these guys do have the... I did give them the trait where they're cooled skinned. So maximum comfortable temperature, 8 degrees higher, which is really good. Now, they do need more heat. They don't like the cold as much, but I don't think cold is going to be an issue in this particular area. So that's fine. We're going to have to build this room at some point, get the dining room, butchery, cooking table, that sort of thing. We're going to need some air-conditioned food storage really fast, to the point where it's probably worth actually making another room. Yeah, I should do that. I got the corpses out there for now, and if I check, they're going to spoil relatively fast. Not instantly, but relatively fast. I suppose the corpses can still get dropped off there. And butchered right away. Because here's what I'm thinking. It'd be nice if the corpses were air-conditioned, but if I have cooking always on and relatively high priority, then the corpses will be butchered and then stored in a cool environment right away. I guess we'll try it without it. But yeah, we do need... I'll keep using the steel wall conduits because, I don't know, I'm going extravagant here apparently. Cancel that. Use the maximum set of space over here, something like this. that like that, and we'll put the auto door facing there. Temperature, we are going to need a cooler, obviously. It doesn't really matter where it ejects. There, for the sake of argument. We're going to have that. Then we're going to have a new zone stockpile. The whole thing is going to be storage. Clear all. This is going to be critical storage for foods of all kinds. All foods should be stored in here. And we are going to go ahead and put down a butcher's table. Side there. Like that. I think that'll be relatively functional. Doesn't leave much room though, does it? You know what? I changed my mind. Because we could put the butcher's table and the cook's table in the same area. And for that, we need a slightly bigger house. I'm not going to use this space. This is going to be research lab, cooking things, and maybe other type of crafting. But yeah, we need a bigger space. So let's try build conduit wall. There we go. Let's do something like that. Auto door. Auto door. Production, we're going to have butcher's table. Cook stove. Like that. Zone, stockpile. There. I think that's going to be okay. Clear all, critical priority for foodstuffs. A little farther away from the dumping stockpile, but what I can do is actually I can move it. So right over here, I'm going to make clear all, not rotten, animal corpses, critical priority. I'm going to delete this zone. So animal corpses will get stored there, and then we can have another dumping pile outside of our walls, or somewhere where we're not going to see the dead bodies too much. Actually, maybe inside our walls. Last time I put it right outside our walls, but we tend to walk back and forth right there quite frequently. So I'm going to make a dumping area over here, which is going to have sort of the normal chunk and corpse storage over here. Less interested about the chunk storage, honestly. Actually, you know what? Let's take off the chunks. The job here is to store all corpses that we're not interested in, and the chunk storage should probably be, I think, here, because we might have our block construction. I like that a lot, actually. Dumping stockpile here, which is just going to be meant for chunks. It's actually not going to have room for all the chunks. Clear all, allow stone bits. There we go. Need defenses, batteries, power, meal source. We got visitors. Yeah, now we do still have some survival meals around, which is good. We could put out a nutrient, whatever you call it. But just once we get to the point of getting the cook stove, we're going to be relatively okay. So what's everyone doing? You are hauling silver, you are hauling steel, you are building power conduits, all relatively okay. And actually, we're going to need more power conduits just right that at some point. And it looks like they're building these buildings, which is good. Got our first battery up. Yeah, we are going to need those defenses. We might get attacked soon. Helmand is actually in bad shape. Abandoned? Male skirmisher? It is abandoned, but not really abandoned, are you? I could get you to join my my little colony. I'd be okay with that. Right away, I'm going to set one prisoner bed and one explicit medical bed. I could put flooring down, but for now they're going to live on the sand. Should we capture him right away? Well, no, because I actually don't want to aggro enemies. Oh, and Braddock is here too. It's not a solo person, and right now we can't defend ourselves against a big attack from another colony, so that would be bad. We are going to have to set up our proper death zones. This is kind of an awkward corner over there, and we don't have any walls here at all yet, which we will want relatively soon. But let's finish our buildings first, and hope we can survive long enough for that. I could put down some sandbags like mega fast, just in case. It looks like I might be out of steel. No, they haven't mined this area here. Okay. I mean, they did finish these mining jobs. Oh, what I wouldn't give for the Dwarf Fortress style V-dig thing where I can just, like, click on one spot of steel and say, keep digging as long as you find more steel here. What is this over here? We've got more silver ore. So we can actually kind of make our own money, which is pretty good. We'll get some inflation. That's all right. It'll be easy to trade. Dun, dun, dun. We might end up sealing this off completely and just encouraging people to come and invade us over here. It is nice and central, so they might be willing to play ball with that. Probably not. Maybe actually I could put a death zone in here, all my turrets in here, and just build another set of walls. When I'm coming from the north, rather than trying to just blow up these walls, we'll get a little choke pointed, and that might be okay. Even these doors may not be required. I mean, most of the people will just bash down the doors. It buys us a little bit of time if something happens. A Luddite Rebel from Base 2. And the place just called Base 2. That's interesting. Need defense, need meal source. We're working on it. And what are people doing? You can't construct. You are constructing this base, which is very handy. Auto doors and all that. So yeah, you're going to keep building these walls. That's very good. High priority constructioner. One of the moons of this planet has orbited the sun. An eclipse has begun. You know, the fact that we've got an eclipse right now is fine. So we don't have any power. We don't actually need any power right now. So we're okay. No terrible debuffs. A bit of cramped environment. That's all they're complaining about. These houses are going to be fine. How's the temperature? Because this power is running. It should leave us nice at 21 degrees. So outside it's, outside it's 15. Actually hotter indoors. Probably because it's leftover temperature from the day. So we'll have to check it during the middle of the day, the temperature outside versus the temperature inside, and see if everyone is in a good state. Get off the ground again. Sorry about that. I could actually queue up some tables right away. We're good on wood, so let's go ahead and make some wooden furniture, which still makes, you know, the most sense to me. Heck, we'll make a long table over over here. Doesn't matter. Can people walk through okay? You know what? The short table is fine. I've never had a problem where that's never been enough. I guess people can walk through okay regardless. We'll do that. It'll avoid as many bottlenecks, and then we'll put little stools around the table so everyone can enjoy a meal while sitting down. It's actually going to be really close to the kitchen area, so they shouldn't have to walk too far. The doors are a little zigzaggy, but I think we're going to be fine. And yeah, so I started my hunting way too soon. Just did it sort of out of reflex, but I didn't actually have my my construction yard properly configured for anything of the sort. Once we get these buildings up, though, we can actually start to produce that. No one's growing food. I just realized. Our growing... Did I not ever set the growing priority properly? You guys should both have max priority growing. We've got to get the food supply rocking and rolling. I completely forgot. Not that we can really take advantage of the raw food yet, but we should start growing it, at least. Anything else would be quite foolish. That's a dumping stockpile, which I don't think we're using anymore. Yeah, it's actually completely turned off. All right, the default name is going to be Fallville, but again, if people want to leave in my... Oh, wait, can I not rename the city? Oh, no. Let me know if there's a way to rename the city. I was going to say, it's okay, I'll just click through it for now, and then we'll rename it once I read the comments after this episode. But I'm very, very, very concerned that we may be locked on Fallville. There's got to be a way to rename the cities. You guys, please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in this episode now, and I'll see you guys next time.